Thank you guys all for waiting. We had some technical issues last minute we were trying to solve, so we really appreciate your patience. Hello and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time of the day, wherever you're joining us from. We are very happy to have all of you here today. And welcome to the second Fab City Round Table of 2024. I will be your moderator for today. My name is Mithali Parikh. I am projects lead at the Fab City Foundation, and I'm based in Singapore. And as a part of the annual Global Fab City agenda, the goal of these roundtables is to promote synergies and multi-level knowledge exchanges within the Fab City Global Initiative and for everyone who's interested in Fab City. We have curated the series of roundtables on various contents of the Fab City handbook, and these topics will be presented by our global community and network coordinators who will share their insights and personal experiences. Last week, we talked about how to become a Fab City with Milena Juarez, who joined us from Fab Lab Barcelona. And this week, we're going to talk about how to form a consortium. And this should be very helpful to all the cities that are potentially planning to join the network or take the Fab City pledge in the coming years. We're gonna, since we're running a little bit late on time, we're gonna jump right into our guest by our guest speaker. Today's topic, like I mentioned, is how to form a consortium. This will be presented by Carolina Marini. Carolina is an active member of the Fab City Global Initiative, and she's from the Fab City network in Brazil. She's a designer and the former coordinator of the Brazilian Fab Lab network. She's also a founder of Fab Lab Brazil Institute and currently serves as the Fab manager at Fondazione Torino, the Italian-Brazilian school. In 2022, she joined the Fab City Collective, showcasing her commitment to innovative initiatives in the Fab City Global Initiative, and with her expertise in strategic design and applying maker culture to the future of education. She is a pioneer of the Fab City concept in Brazil. Her work focuses on promoting sustainable development in cities through innovative and eco-conscious approaches in urban areas. And without further ado, I'm gonna now welcome Carolina Marini to join us and share her insights on how to form a Fab City Consortium. Thank you. Carol?
Hello. Hi, Mithali.
Hold on, just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, please. Yes, now we can start.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning from Brazil. I'm Carolina. I'm really sorry about the technical problems. It's okay now. And I will start my presentation about how we establish a Brazilian consortium here and the way we created. So the first, I would like to give you some context. It's important to understand more about our evolution. So since the beginning, we have based our roadmap on 3 targets. We organize and create some kind of connection, attraction, and flow, because we understood as a network that our country converts a vast territory. So Brazil is the biggest country in South America, And we should create connections to identify ourselves as a Brazilian Fab City network, because we have so many different cultures and so many different economic situations here in Brazil. So first we should understand that. So we started documenting our activities as much as possible. We record all progress, doing, how can I say, we could track our progress as network. And the easier way is recording our movement. This documentation was important to review, for example, the entire accreditation process to become a Fab Lab, because here in Brazil we have a lot of difficulties to do that as a Fab Lab movement. So this progress has been tested since then, and now we have more efficient way to recognize a Fab Lab in Brazil and in other countries. We use this process for many Fab Labs. So we have here Kenzo Abico and Thais Lima that did this, that organized this process for the Fab Labs, and the International Fab Lab Network is using in some countries this process. And it was very important for us to be recognized and organize this process. So we move on, and we took advantage of the opportunity to expand our network's communication by participating in significant tech events to showcase our potential. So we create, for the first moment, we organize our network, we meet each other, and after that, we started creating moments of meetings, to moments of show for each other how our culture could work with us and create this network. So in 2019, we founded the Brazilian Fab City Institute, an NOG institution that emerged as a platform to organize, create possibilities, and legally support the network. Because we, at that time, started to talk with companies, institutions, public institutions, and they wanted to start many projects with us, but we are at that time just a network. So the institute is a legal organization to support the Fab Lab, the Brazilian Fab Lab network. So this way we managed to be recognized as an organized network with the potential to attract even more institutions that could have contact with digital fabrication and develop and support innovative projects. It's okay? You can hear me and see me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Because I can hear and see you.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
It's okay?
Yep.
Well, let's continue. So, and we have these two sides of words. We have the network connecting people, and we have the Brazilian Fab City Institute connecting makers, fab labs, companies, universities, school, and government agency. After that, when we established these connections, we continue to take advantage of the network's positive momentum and the initial steps of the Institute. So we collaborate with the São Paulo City Hall to produce the first meeting of Brazilian Fab Cities Network during the SP Maker Week. So it happened in September 2019, and it was a very huge moment for us, because in that meeting, we starting to ask us what really does it mean to be a Brazilian Fab City, because our goal was to understand what it truly means to be a Brazilian Fab City, what our advances were, and also what our challenges were. We knew that we had really made significant progress, but we had by having 5 cities, the Fab Lab Institute, and a growing movement. In 2 days of intense exchanges, we managed to bring together representatives from 5 cities, public officials, and individual interests in developing programs with the Fab City team. Tomás Dias and Raquel Penalosa from Montreal join us to offer insights and provide a perspective beyond Brazil. So this moment was important to identify synergies, define parameters and guidelines to us, identify actions and projects to be developed together. But in 2020, the pandemic hit us too. And all the efforts we had made until them were halted to make room for the global movement of Fab Labs supporting healthcare system. So we stopped everything and tried to help the healthcare area, doing the same as all Fab Labs in the world did. The protections for the people who are facing the COVID pandemic. But at the end of 2021, we began once again to reorganize ourselves as a network, as a Fab City in a significant movement of reconnection. We did at that time the 3rd meeting of our network. In some meetings, we decided it was time to reconnect with international movements using the Institute, once again as a platform to attract global events and movements to update our strategy of revitalizing Fab Labs and Fab Cities. So we extensively covered events and mobilization that could serve as examples and references to give us momentum. So I, at that time, went to Bali, and we, with some members of our network, we participate in a Fab City challenge, and we win. So it was very important to us to understand our strong as part of the network and part of the Fab City Global Initiative. At the same time, I was part of the Fab City Collective and tried to see all the movement in Centrino, European network Centrino, to understand how they organize themselves and try to put some projects in activity. So since then, we had retrieved and updated the statement made in 2019. As a planner early, we commit to advancing the main common themes in Brazilian context. And the first meeting in 2019, we decided to work in 3 SODs, that was inclusion, sustainability, and education. So we try once again how two cities can act and articulate different stakeholders, foster local and common projects, implement public Fab Labs, foment innovation and bottom-up projects, attract investments, and contribute to the global movement. Since then, we are translating all available knowledge into Portuguese. This way, we provide access to Fab City's team for managers of institutes related to cities and also for individuals who want to learn more about the subject and apply it to their projects, further connecting local communities. And we hosted too another national gathering, used the setup provided by São Paulo's City Hall and its 13 public Fab Labs. There were on-site activities and online hangouts, giving the 5 cities a chance to show off, what they working on. And here in Belo Horizonte, at Fundação Torino, we launched the Latitade Leo program. It's a program in the school where I work, and we are trying to develop sustainable solutions based on Fab City Manifesto and the SDGs program. We are in the middle of the program. We have 6 groups of students working in their project, and I hope I can show you the results on Mexico Fab City Summit. I think it will be a nice opportunity to show what we can improve the Fab City knowledge in a school. So we can talk later in Mexico. And we still move on. And as you know, Curitiba won the first prize of Fab City Awards. And we are trying now to show and spread this initiative here in Brazil. And we have the opportunity to understand more in March that we have Fab City, not Fab City, I'm sorry. We have a reunion in Curitiba. I think Aristarco will be there, and you can talk more about the Fab City network, Brazilian network. And we have now for for this year, this how can I say, this meets with the Minister of Science and Technology. Edgar Andrade from Fab Lab Recife is doing a huge effort to talk about Fab cities as a huge movement here in Brazil, and he is traveling several cities in Brazil where he was engaging with state and municipal governments to create and expand our network and create opportunities to show of how we can use the cities and his spaces to establish a unique project to offer all the initiatives from Fab Labs and all initiatives from our Fab City Global Initiative. So that's a kind of glimpse of our way to construct this network and this consortium. So this year, we try to put Rio de Janeiro and Guarulhos, a city from São Paulo state, in as a Fab city. We started this national project that Edgar is helping us, and we are trying to have a space in COP20 in Belém next year. We are articulating to create a space to talk about our initiatives here in Brazil and show about Fab City movements around the world. And of course, we are going to Fab Mexico event, and there we can show more about our initiatives here in Brazil. So I think I can take you a little bit of what's happening here in Brazil, and that's it. So you can come with us and help us to grow our network. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolina. Thank you for sharing. For all our audiences, please feel free to unmute your mics at this point in case you have any questions, comments, something to discuss. Hello? Carolina, can you hear me? Carolina, can you hear me? Okay, so in case people have any questions, please feel free to unmute your mic and speak up, and then I'm gonna relay the question to Carolina as well. Or please feel free to write it in the chat, and then we can address all of the questions. Just to get the conversation started, Carol, first, thank you for sharing. I wanted to ask you, at the beginning of forming the consortium, right? The stage that you showed about connecting all the different Fab Labs in the different entities around the country. What were the kind of challenges that you faced while connecting and creating this network from scratch locally? And what led to the decision of creating an institute or an organization that sort of connects all of these entities?
regions, and these regions are very, very different each other. So and we have many cultural and economical situations in these regions. So it's easy for example, São Paulo, Belo Horizonte, and Minas Gerais, and the south of Brazil, to have financial support. But in the north and northwest, it's not the same. It's completely different. So we knew at that time that we have create some, how can I say, create some mindset that resists that differences. So we try to support more these local Fab Labs, give them more knowledge, more support as we could do at that time, and try to push them to our meetings and show how, and ask them what they are doing and how can we support them. And we try to put them on evidences. And after that, the decision to create the institute was because we were at that time just a network, and we are always talk with each other, but we don't have the legal basis to create projects with companies or public institution. We need the institute to do this part, this legal part, and create possibilities to talk and do this project with the companies and institution. So we founded the institute as this legal institution to talk with all these public and private institutions. I think it's kind of that.
Right. And just a follow-up question. So you mentioned there were two separate institutions formed that worked together. So what were the kind of key differences in both these kind of institutions?
Yeah, we have just one institute that calls Brazilian Fab Lab Institute. This is the legally part. And we have our network is a kind of, it's just as our global network,
right?
As a Fab Lab global network, because we are talking with each other, we change knowledge, we ask for solutions in many kind of problems, but it's not official, it's not legal. So we have the network with, I don't know, but 140 laboratories, but we need the legal institute to talk, to accept financial incentives and other things like that to create our project with companies, universities and schools and things like that.
Right.
So we have just one institute. The other is just a network.
Thank you. Perfect. I don't see any questions in the chat, but would someone like to address any particular, or does someone want to share the reflection, comments, suggestions? Okay, there is a question, Carol, from Laura Walter. She says, thank you very much for the presentation and the insights. She has a question about how you finance the Fab Lab Institute. Their project is currently being funded, but what can it look like in the long term?
Okay. Well, first we have legal obligations, so we have to pay for taxes and things like that, and we do that with when we are where we are in a project, we reserved a part of the budget for our sustainability. So we have the project, we have a Fab Lab or a maker, or I don't know, we have a partner here, and we are the platform to connect with the institutions, private or public institution. So when we are create this project, and we reserve this part of the budget to pay the bills, yeah, because we have these things here, of course, and we use this part of budget not only to pay the bills, but to create some kind of reservation for next month. So we have always to look for projects to give us sustainability for the next steps. And that's the way we used to do our projects here, because here in Brazil we have so many difficulties as a because people, we don't have, as a European situation, we don't have many financial lines of credit, so we have to use this platform at the Institute, Fab Lab Institute, to create a kind of survive for the next month.
I'm reading from the chat. Carolina, Guilherme says the institute is a support foundation like the universities use in Brazil.
Yeah, we can support some projects in university. We did some kind of support in some Fab Labs that are in university, but we are not developing any projects yet. We are just supporting with knowledge yet. So I hope we can do that next month, but we can do that, but not yet. We have a project.
Does that answer your question, Guilherme?
Which one?
No, I'm just asking if that answers the
Okay.
question that they were asking. Yes, yes, it does. Thank you very much for the answer. Any more questions from our audiences? If someone would like to share what they're doing currently while forming their consortiums, or they like to share their experiences or challenges that they're facing? How about the involvement of government entities, Carolina? What kind of departments are a part of the consortium or the institute, if at all? And how did you go about approaching them to form consortium?
Are you asking how kind of departments we are talking with?
I'm asking if there are any government entities or government bodies that are also a part of the network or the consortiums.
Yes, we have the five Fab cities, public representatives, municipality represents are part of our network, and we are continuous talking with them. For example, here in Brazil, in Belo Horizonte, we are talking with people from our municipality. We have Alessandra from Curitiba. She is working at Curitiba City Hall. So we have many people from public City Hall with us in our network.
Perfect. Thank you, Carolina.
Thank you very much. It's great. I can share with you all the knowledge we have here. You can send me an email or things like that. So I'm here and waiting for be part of the global network.
Perfect. That's thank you very much for sharing, Carolina, and thank you for your time and insights. And thank you everyone else for joining us. Like Carolina mentioned, please feel free to reach out to her or us at the Fab City Foundation with any questions or anything you'd like to share with. Do stay tuned for the next edition of the Roundtable. The next one will be hosted with the author of The Donut Economics, Kate Ravert. This will be sometime in April, so please do make sure you are following all the socials. And unless there are any more questions, comments, feel free to we're gonna wrap this up here. Thank you guys all very much. Have a great rest of the week. And see you next time.